Welcome back to the Puddin's Fab Shop second channel, classic number 2. Where today we're gonna change the clutch on this fan for our oil Roy project. Just playing. Just been cleaning up from last week, guys. And like our clutch there right into the scrap. That's our new lid for our trash can, fits good. I don't know how heavy that trash can is, but I guarantee it's all of it at this point. This week, me and Theodore are struggling through, guys. It's just one week that feels extremely overwhelming, I guess to say. Yesterday I was recording some stuff for the Okie Windmiller channel. They're going to be putting a windmill up here, and I asked them if I could shoot a intro because we'd already done some work and I need to get some rock out of the creek. I mean, I had some work to do, half day worth of stuff yesterday, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna be doing it, I'd like to be recording it. So you can be looking forward to seeing that on there. It'll be in their video, upcoming video. So anyways, we knocked that out, and that'll take you till noon real quick. Had to make a Harbor Freight run, and then boom, I had some DOM. I had to order the stuff. Why is DOM so hard to get? I don't know. But nowadays, if you want some, you pretty near have to order it around here anyhow. And you can tell Theo never gets loved on because he's just attached to my hip this morning, quite literally. And I had to run up to the city and back to get that. So boom, next thing you know, 3 hours is gone just getting that. And we've got regionals for one kiddo in volleyball, and we've got state for another kiddo with volleyball. And volleyball. There's been a lot of that going on in my life. This is probably the last week for it, depending on how regionals goes. So with all that being said, we're just gonna do some second channel stuff. That's what we do. And we're probably gonna start with getting this DOM unloaded where I got the trailer all healed up. Now, unfortunately, my wife somehow prayed in this, what I call depression weather, because it's kind of chilly, wind's blowing, which makes it chillier. And it's just kind of dark and gloomy. And she's like, ah. And I'm like, what do you mean, ah? I like it bright, hot, sweaty, steamy. Anyhow, this DOM ain't gonna unload itself. Whoop! That's right, for ratchet straps, I'm a taper. I just keep a roll of tape in the truck. Gotta know I was part of a band, did you? Oh yeah, P-Tung and the Knee Slappers. Haruget! Yeah. Don't forget your flags hanging off the rear, guys. I know you're supposed to have red. I find the red hard to see myself, so I always like to put a bright yellow on there. Golly, I done duct taped my own fingers together, guys. Give me my hand back. Now, I know what you're thinking. What do you need all that DOM for? Don't worry about it, nosy. Just playing. I think you guys know. Think about it. Why do I ever use DOM? Well, usually 11 out of 10 times. If Puddin's Fab Shop has DOM in the hizzle, it has something to do with suspension work. So that would indicate a future or current project would need or would soon be receiving some suspension work. Oh, Theo tries the car from downtown. Dang it. And we've got 2 projects ongoing. Well, that one's got a bunch of leaf springs and that suspension work's done. So I guess that would only leave one possible subject. But I'm not gonna tell y'all what it would be. What I will tell you is that is most definitely the biggest DOM tubing I've ever purchased in my life. And also what I'll tell you is if you decide to buy DOM, no matter what size, be ready to poop yourself when you see the price of it. You walk into that sales office, you better take some toilet paper. Now, let's do some assuming, why don't we? Assuming we were gonna put air ride on something, we would have to build some link bars in the rear. And assuming we were gonna put air suspension on something, especially anything that was gonna be towing any type of weight ever, we'd really prefer to have a bag over axle setup. So assuming a bag was over axle, straight over the top, the link bars would almost have to come down the front in a parallel setup. So assuming we wanted to take them up to where the frame dropped, so we didn't have to build goofy drop down brackets, the bars would have to be dang near 5 foot in length. Now, I don't know if y'all know anything about suspension bars, but that's pretty long. So you'd want something that has a pretty big diameter and thickness and something quality like DOM. Maybe something like 2 1/4 1/4 inch thick. That would build you one extremely beefy link bar if you were to pursue that. 5 foot, 10 foot, 15 foot, 20 foot, or 23.5. That's one thing I don't like about buying the DOM. A lot of your DOM comes in randoms, so they'll tell you like you might be able to order it in a 17 to 20 foot random or a 20 to 24 foot random. It just depends on what the facility decided to manufacture. Hell, I don't know. I don't know how it works. If when they're doing the cutting them to length, they're just like, hell, hit it, and then you just get whatever, you know. Luckily, those were 20 to 24 foot randoms. So if someone did build 4 link ladder bars and they needed 4 5-footers, we get all that out of one piece. Now, as far as the other DOM, guys, that is 1.5 inches in quarter wall, and that's pretty much my minimum. Now, that's an extremely strong link bar. Perfectly fine for full-size stuff. Probably could even, depending on length of bars, up to 1-ton stuff. That's some serious link bar. A lot of people just do 1/8 inch wall. I like the 1/4 inch thick stuff. Why not? So we're gonna need some of that too for possible upcoming work. What, I got saliva going crazy in my mouth? Golly, that stuff would just almost drilled in front of the camera. Excuse me. Building suspension got my mouth drooling. The thought of it, I mean. So I needed a stick or two of that stuff. And here's the thing. Stuff ain't gonna get cheaper, guys. It's a long trip up there. Knowing I use that stuff. I bought 2 sticks of it back in the day and it lasted me forever. So this time I bought 4 sticks of it, and I hope I don't have to buy any more of that stuff for a long, long time. Long time. I don't want to store that outside because we don't want it to rust over. So knowing we could cut our 24 footer basically into 4ths, and then we could trim down from there. And then our other stuff, we may just cut it straight in half, and then we'd be able to store it in our inside rack. So let's do that. You know, I was about to swap out our blade. The stainless steel blade's pretty well smoked. I'm not gonna use it on stainless steel again. It was making terrible cuts. But let's see if it's good enough to lop metal in half. Yeah. 23.5, aka 282 inches. Hello, math inspector. Yeah. No is the answer. No, that blade cannot even cut mild steel. She done. Blade swap. Take your magic marker. I laid us one here, and I made sure we're butted pretty flush down there. Everything's sitting the same length. That way we can mark them out. In fact, handling a big old 24-foot piece is pretty hard, so we're gonna butt up this one too, and we'll just cut her clean in half. Well, that's great. The second piece of 1.5 inch I just cut there is definitely bent in the middle. Nothing like paying an arm and a leg for that crap, and then that's what you get, huh? So I'm gonna wrap a piece of tape right there where I think the piece has been at, and I just mark it bent where I know for the future. Somewhere right in here. So he's definitely got a little bend in her. I think the bend is right here, like we could probably cut it there and be fine. Still don't make it any less annoying. The yamps go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The yamps go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The yamps go marching one by one, lifting weights is kind of fun. And if I do too much more, I'm gonna fall down to the ground. Damn, it's gonna rain. Bazooka, yeah. It's my workout, guys. Try to stay young. Can't leave all crooked out there. These big mamas, one at a time. You know the bad news? This is only half the battle. Over here by the rack. I ain't even stacked it yet. Yeah. She ain't gonna fit, Captain. It's all right. Our big stuff and 2 sticks of that, we can layer somewhere over here. We should be consuming it fairly soon. Woo, guys, that is a workout. Sure is. That stuff's heavy. You start toting it around. Good for you though. Definitely time consuming. Recently, what was it? Something silly like, what did we do? We went out and got the pedal and the ECM for old Roy. Or we went and got the pedal from the junkyard, then we had the ECM flash when we drove the Model A up. Then when I got back, had a couple hours to kill. So we finally messed with our jet, drill press, and then I gave the welder some maintenance because that's just stuff I've been putting off doing because everything's so busy. And I'm not complaining, I don't care. I'm trying to show you all the realistic side of stuff. Someone commented, I watch your channel to watch you build cars, not watch you clean your shop. And I'm like, that makes sense because historically we build cars on the second channel. I mean, it's all we've ever done on the second channel is full builds, you know. I would definitely come to Puddin's Fab Shop too to watch full builds and be disappointed because we've never done that. But guys, this is the realistic part of it. If you're like me and the closest decent metal supply place is an hour away, you know you're losing 2 to 3 hours just to get metal every time because they're not the quickest on loading you out up there. Some days are better than others. And then like today, we're gonna spend another hour just doing something with that material. So if you're not ready to consume it right there, then obviously we don't want it tied up on the trailer or whatever. So we gotta do something with it. And then you're like, well, just don't get it until you need it. And then the week we decide to work on it, then we gotta lose 3 hours then. So I just gotta, part of this, unless you're gonna build a car and you somehow are gonna get your metal delivered from an hour away from the city for you, guys, part of the car building is getting your materials ahead of time. Where then on the day where you really wanna be able to just get started, you don't have to lose half a day getting materials. Part of car building is using tools. I mean, what do you want? You're gonna, let's say you've never fabricated before. You're just going to snap your fingers and your welder's going to put itself together, you know? So I hate to tell some of y'all who don't really enjoy this type of stuff as much. I get it, but it still has to happen. So I can either record it and y'all get second channel content, or I don't record it and you don't get second channel content. Either way, my time's going to be consumed doing all the behind the scenes type stuff. Because we don't have a parts person, a parts manager, or a parts deliverer, grabber, whatever. That's all me. And for most of y'all who do your own builds, that's all you. So you get it. Now, that's not me ranting. Like I said, that's me just kind of sharing that, guys, it's part of it. But most of what that was me catching my breath because I was out of it. Trust me when I say, though, I hate the running around and behind the scenes stuff more than y'all do, I promise. I wish all I had to do every day of my life was come out in this shop about 7 o'clock and just work till about 5 or 6 o'clock building awesome stuff. I think y'all know I don't even like leaving my house. You can probably tell. Uh-oh, looky here. Golly, she's soft as can be. So besides crap going on, like getting parts and stuff, you know what else happens? Stupid stuff like fraudulent charges on your business card. So then you got to start, you know, if you've got that business card set up with different accounts and blah, blah, blah. Guys, I've spent a morning dealing with crap like that. Well, not a whole morning, obviously, but I've been dealing with it this morning. Tire only got 8 PSI. That ain't no good. So boom, fraudulent charges. Now I'm having to play damn phone tag with people and try to get my card back where it needs to be and blah, blah, blah. That's fun, huh? Gotta love people just trying to steal your hard-earned money. Anyhow, then Nathan's over there. He showed me, we just released yesterday and we got some orders in that are marked as highly fraudulent. So then you're trying to figure that out, guys. There's always something going on. Now recently on the second channel as well, I showed y'all trying to install the front torsion bars and y'all basically let me know I'm a damn idiot. Some people said I was trying to install them wrong, and I don't believe so. They're like, you got to take the arm to full droop before you do the keys and this and that, and that may be true for factory arms. But we don't have factory arms. I was just going off the instructions of the DJM. And the DJM instructions for those arms say to set them level the way I was attempting to. But I tried both ways. And I thought I showed that. But I don't know if y'all get. This ain't exactly fine spline, guys. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options. And I've tried the 2 options we have. This thing ain't fine splined enough that there's another option that y'all didn't see, okay? So you're like, oh, full droop it. Well, it don't matter if you full droop it or if you're up here. If it can only click in the one that allows that range, that's it. And I told y'all it's either the suspension's entirely too tight or it's entirely too loose. And that video ended up getting drawn out, so I cut some of that information or elaborated more on that. So maybe I didn't explain that, but I tried that you can try the torsion bar in 2 ways. Now, to be honest and clear, the one day when I tried to install it, I had same results where it was too tight or too loose, and then I discovered we had those lift keys, so I blamed it on the lift keys. Then this last go around, I had the same results, and y'all pointed out something in the video though that I did not pay attention to, which is why we have to revisit it real quick. Y'all pointed out that I had the incorrect torsion bar for the driver's side. And someone said they can see it was a P for passenger or something, or a R for right. So that's a L. Ah, I see, there's the L for left, which makes sense. I had marked this one driver. For some odd reason that day as I was installing them, I really wasn't concerned too much if the torsion bars really worked or not. But I'm not really going to tell y'all why it wasn't a priority. I have no clue why it didn't matter if the torsion bars worked or not. But to be fair, I said they don't work and I blamed it on the arm. I still think we're going to have an issue here, but based off principle and me knowing I tried to install the wrong ones on the wrong side and me saying those arms were an issue, I want to re-attack that and see if they will work or not, so y'all know. Boy, I was looking around, I'm like, I can't find that other torsion bar. And that's a good thing, because now that I'm using my brain and remember, you actually got to have that arm or the torsion bar started into the arm before you bolt the arm up, if I remember correctly. And if that was the case, from the first time I ever tried to install those and was having issues and thought it was because of the lift keys, that means I've had the incorrect one on there the entire time. We're gonna zoom through this, guys. I just jacked up on this, popped our ball joints, our spindles loose. We gotta just be able to drop this bolt and bolt. Right now I got everything held up just with our drive right here to hold the upper and the spindle. So as long as we get this arm pried out of here, we just got to get her down far enough where we can pull that torsion bar on out. And by pry I mean smack her with a hammer. Here's how you simply pry an arm. Easy peasy. Hey, at least I did install it with the F for front. Just the wrong one, no big deal. It's so weird, the one that says pass for passenger on it didn't work on the driver's side. R, and it shows you the way it's supposed to rotate. Now, let me tell y'all, since these last couple of weeks I've been working on old Roy, and that's where I could really stare at this thing and really lock in my mind. I think the drive or the front's this way, because on the rear it'll tell you the L and which way to turn, so that's how it needs to go. I really have been trying to make up my mind if we're gonna do air ride or not. Now I got excited, okay, and I went in one day and I ended up ordering all the materials, just made up my mind we're gonna do it. But then I go through the phase where staring at it, sitting here at a static ride height. I really like how it looks there too, so I'm back and forth, guys. I really am. I've never had such a hard time in my life deciding the suspension of a vehicle. I've just always known, like, this one I'm gonna lower, this one I'm gonna air ride, and this one I'm just a flip of the coin right now. I'm like, yeah, we gotta air ride it, and then I have days where I'm like, man, just the simplicity of having it sit there is so good. And obviously, whether the factory torsion bars could actually work with it or not may influence some of that decision. So, just like that, we gotta slide our torsion bar in, get it started, and just go back together. Whew, another little workout. You pick up that bar and slide it back where it sits on that cross member to take some of the weight off of it. And then this just simply wiggles up in, start your 2 bolts. And actually, the DJM instructions said to wait, set the arm level, and then wait to start the ball joint, which I didn't quite understand that. So we are gonna start our ball joint. But it did say the arm's supposed to be fairly level with the ground, not at full droop like some people was saying. So that wedged in there, this is fairly level. And we're at the point we were at last time, which is now we just get underneath there and try to slide that back. I think real quick, just with how this index is, we're gonna tell real quick whether it's gonna work for us or not. Obviously, we have a much better chance of it working for the correct one on the correct side. Now, I'm actually gonna try our lift keys, and let me explain my logic. I think I took this out of the last video. We had lift keys from the get-go, and I was really happy with how it sat, but we had 2-inch drop spindles. We took those off, so that should have picked us up 2 inches. But then these arms are supposed to lower us 3 inches. So that should offset us some. You know, I guess it really don't matter. There's math on that where if, in theory, everything should be within a half-inch difference. So right there's the factory key. And I can already tell y'all that's looking way better than before. Now, like I said, the arm is level, but this right here is in a way where I think, yeah, we're gonna have to tension that sucker to be able to get it up. But before, to start the tension, it was like hanging way down here. Dead battery will get you. Get it. I started to put the lift keys in there, and if I'm being honest, I think we're gonna have to swap to them. And that goes back to my theory. It was a really soft, good ride before. I was happy with the ride height. And now knowing, so this was the other thing I seen a lot of people throwing a fit about. If you went 4 inches and that's a 13-inch arm, you got a 30% increase, blah, blah, blah. I don't disagree with that. In fact, I welcome the additional leverage. That's never been addressed, but please, if you've never rode in a Chevrolet 3/4 ton, half ton, 1 ton, whatever, any of their 4-wheel drive stuff with torsion bars with no load on it, go ride in one. Let it beat you to death. And then you'll see why the extra leverage to soften that ride up's much welcomed by me. And I know y'all think we're building a truck that weighs 20,000 pounds, but I don't think it's gonna weigh that much. And in fact, we may be losing weight on the front suspension opposed to the rear, because I promise y'all this cab and stuff's got to be lighter than the factory crew cab. You start thinking of all the over-the-top AC, the extra glass, all the, you know, knickknacks and doodaddies that new trucks have that this old one didn't. I think we've lost a little weight up at the front on that aspect. Now, is a wet Cummins way more than a wet Duramax? Yes, but by wet I mean a couple 100 pounds. You see what I'm saying? I think people think we're just building a tank, and I'm not saying it's the lightest truck ever. I can't wait to weigh it and really see what it is. I'm thinking possibly with the lift keys reinstalled, because I never knew they were lift keys when I planed the suspension in my head. I based it around what was in there. I think possibly with them installed, this thing's going to be just about right how I want it. So I don't even know why I'm not trying them first. So close. The threads of that ball joint tool's just a little in the way. So I'll redo her and just get that slid in. See, before I was way down here and or it was already up in there where I could slide it in. There was no in between. Right now we've got it in between. All right, ran her up quite a bit. Obviously the bolt has it now, not this. And it was enough tension that it rotated that and slid that out of there, or spun that and allowed it to go down. So instead of jacking this up and down, putting the wheel on, jack stands, blah, 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 let's just jack out here, and we can use a tape measure and start to figure out about how we're gonna set. Now, we were hoping for that. Now we are picking the truck up off the jack stand, which is a good thing. Obviously I'm trying to put all of our weight out here, which is where the wheel would put it to. And just for being on the jack and not having the other weight on the other side, I think that's about as far up as it's gonna go. Kind of straighten her up here. And from the center of that, roughly to that lip, I'm seeing right at 17 3/8. And from the center of that to the tire, I'm seeing about 15 3/4. So that would allow us right at the 1 inch of a clearance there. But if we want it tucking a little bit, I've actually got that torsion bar ran in quite a bit. Not to mention full weight on this thing with the other side done may change some of that. It's getting a little closer right there. Don't do that, by the way. You shouldn't have all that weight on there and adjust that the way I just did. We should have took some of that weight off of this side and then backed it out where we wanted it and then put the weight back on. And right there, we're seeing right at 17. So we're a ballpark. Now, obviously, we can't really tell how this rides because I can't really push on this or that. The front of this clip ain't even mounted. But this is a lot better than it was before, guys. Before, this with load on it was way up here or way down here. I know people thought I was trying to install them wrong. That wasn't the case. I just obviously had the incorrect torsion bar. Now, what we're seeing, the lift key probably wouldn't help us any because all it would do is lift this up higher and then we'd just be backing the bolt off more. This is such a small difference between the factory key and this one that obviously the stock ones are looking like they'll work. I think we just need to get the other side done and actually sit this front end down and get the weight of everything on the suspension and see how low it actually sits. It sounds nice and simple. We got to take the whole other side apart, blow it apart, put it together. I's not so very smart man's. I installs our torsion bars ours backwards. Hey, someone said, why don't you take you a worn out hole saw, one of those, and put you a piece of rubber on it and then use that to install your lug nut you hate so bad. So I just took my 1¼ inch piece of rubber. Genius! Damn NASCAR. Oh man, see what happens when it messes up though? Oh yeah, that's boogered. That one's done for. So much for being a genius. Tearing up 1 out of 10 ain't bad. Guys, I don't plan on keeping these anyhow. Boy, wasn't the cross thread Fred? Go call somewhere else. Damn crows always hit me with flybys. Ow. Need that ankle. Having two ankles is frowned upon. Get her up on that cross member and then right back into place. This side definitely fought me a little more, but we're started. Oh, hey, remove that before it pops you in the chin like it did me. Luckily, I may have that patchy beard, but that goatee, she's a thick one. Oh, thick mama right there, so where it hit didn't even hurt. That's weird. Usually I hate being hit in the face. Not even like fighting and stuff with kids. Kids like playing around and hit you. I'm like, boom, you know, hit me in the face. But I really don't like my face being touched. I just don't punch 2-year-olds if they do it. That was a joke. Terrible joke. All right, let's get these thread amounts matching. We're suspecting driver's side to be close, so we're gonna measure it, and we can see it's 3/8 from the bottom of that nut plate to the bottom of the bolt. And my eagle eye's pretty stinking good because that's perfect. That's also 3/8. Put our wheels back on and set her down. And we're pretty close where if we're gonna keep her static where we'd like it to be, guys. I mean, that's tucking a little bit of tire. If I go straight like that, I gotta go up. So that's pretty stinking close to how I'd want it right there. And that's currently being held on the torsion bar suspension. So I wonder if it ain't a little stiff right there. Oh no, no, she's not. Cause even with that front end not mounted, look at that baby bouncing, guys. That cab's going up and down. She's got suspension. So boom, baby, there you have it. I lied to y'all about those control arms not working. They would work. My extension job's just fine. The additional leverage is not gonna twist that torsion bar in half. The additional leverage is not gonna start snapping stuff. Now some of y'all are just theorizing the way you stretched them out probably changed your caster, your toe, your this, your that. No, it didn't. You take everything straight out. They don't change. Anyways, I don't know. Some of that stuff was crazy. I made one crucial mistake, and that was using the incorrect torsion bar on the incorrect side. Had I never done that, that very Saturday that I was out here in a rush, that's my problem, guys. I get in a rush, worried about content deadlines, keep it on schedule, and I do stupid stuff, just like y'all just seen me start to build the exhaust wrong here because I was in a rush that Friday before we leave for volleyball. Gotta get it done, and I did it wrong. This, gotta get it done so I can show the camera, do it wrong. It's that rush I put on myself, which has me making a lot of mistakes here lately. And it's not an excuse, I just know that's what it is. I've become so focused on get a video done and have a little fun, and then bam, 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 something's done incorrect. Had I never installed that incorrectly, way back when, the torsion bars would have went on that day. In the video where I extended those out, it had been bolted together just like this, and everyone had been like, damn, he's a hero. But my one stupid mistake had everyone questioning all kinds of crazy stuff. Nothing to question, folks. She's a gooder. My apologies to DJM for thinking their arms were not going to work for my application. Clearly, I was the issue. Now, it's really hard to see, but I got the angle finder on the rotor, and we've currently got 1 degree of camber. I guarantee you we got that adjustment because the uppers are sitting in the middle. I think she may be sitting a little lower, or actually if it sit lower, it may suck it in more. It would actually look better just a hair lower. Jack the front end up. Now, before we ever took this apart, these were backed out right at a 1/2 inch. Right there is 9/16 on that one. .9/16 on that one. Something funky here going on because that one's kicked up at an angle, and it should probably be sitting a little flatter like that. So that whole torsion bar and key was kind of shoved over that away. So I took it all apart, put that up in there to shove it this way. where our indentation, where that bolt goes into, this one is more straight up and down. Make sure that starts in there, and once we get tension, hopefully that'll kind of help keep it there. See, now that's more straight up and down and not cockeyed, which should make our measurements and everything matching a lot more accurate, and that's pert near perfect. Need just a bump more. We'll take it. Now that looks way better. I'm glad we can all learn torsion bars together, guys. Puddin's torsion bar class. Woo-hoo! That's more like it. That's a static ride height right there, guys. That's a good one. We're tucking a little more tire. Checked over the angle finder. Now it's at like 0.4, 0.5 degrees of camber. Again, easily adjustable. And I know y'all just see a big old heavy 1 ton. That's all I'm building. But what I see is a big old truck that maybe that seems a little soft to y'all. But if that thing had some fresh socks on it to dampen shocks, not socks. Changing your socks is important, but shocks to dampen it, that I couldn't bounce it that soft, guys. It'd be perfect. And up front, just the same. Maybe that seems a little soft, but with shocks on it. Then as we continue to add weight, if that is a little too soft, we can tighten those up and just slowly pick it up. Guys, that's in a really good tunable spot. I promise y'all. Go try to push the front of my 3/4 ton. I'm telling y'all, that extra leverage was welcome. That was part of my game plan. I mean, it is a lot of fun to ride in this thing and knock your damn teeth out. So for now, we're going to take that as a victory. I guess y'all can kind of comment down below which one you'd like to see on it. Because, like I said, I'm not playing. I'm still 50-50. Especially now that we know that my torsion bar option is once again an option. She sits perfect as is and would ride like a Cadillac. Or we can slam it down. It'll sit even lower with air in it. It'll still ride like a Cadillac. And a lot of people are under the impression we won't be able to tow. Guys, airbags do not, I repeat, airbags do not limit you from towing. Look at every tractor trailer going down the road. Read the sticker on the side. What's it say? Air ride equipped. It damn sure don't say leaf spring, torsion bar, Monroe shock equipped. It says air ride equipped. My low profile rubber band tires are going to limit us from towing way before airbags do. Yet no one said anything about that, but when airbags get mentioned, I thought you were going to tow with it. She'll still tow. And she'll still ride good, guys. So that won't limit us. And again, 90% of the time she'd be pulling a trailer. It's not like I'm going to be pulling damn 10, 15,000 pounds around with this thing. It's going to be my car hauler with a car on the back. Or it's going to be empty with a car on the back. Small car. It's got to be small. Little hot rod. Either way, don't let that scare you into thinking we would be incapable. I do not recommend my little install tool. I've now boogered up multiple ones, and 2 of them, I think just that going so fast, I'm going too fast, the heat of that plastic. Either way, 2 are really bad now, and other ones are scarred up. I don't recommend my thing I invented there. Guys, I'm sitting here just staring away, and this, I even just called Slick. I said, this is, I feel like the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life. I know you guys who are hardcore air ride think it's a no-brainer, but I think y'all can tell as I've got older, I've kind of leaned away from air ride, and I just kind of like stuff at the perfect stance. I drive my International now. I never air that thing out. I always get it sitting right where I like how it sits squatted, and that's where I leave it. And like the Datsun, it only looks good if you air it out to me. Like, it don't look good up in the air at all. So that thing looks good. But like the 59 over there, the 59 looks great aired out. But to me, 4-door, especially like the X-Frame, don't matter what year, those as 4-doors make great just slam cruisers, guys. Just air ride, throw some dime whites or white walls on it and just build a cruiser, low and slow. This thing could pull off either look, but I'm telling y'all, if it had an air ride, I think 90% of the time I would keep it right at that ride height, right there. I don't think kind of like talking slick. He goes, well, you're not 20, 21 anymore. Before, when I had air ride, everywhere I drove, I was psh, 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 psh. My stuff I have air ride now, I pick it up psh, and I just drive it. I'm not switch crazy like I used to be, guys. And I really like the simplicity of this. And I think had I installed those torsion bars correctly from the get-go and seen it just like this, I don't even think it'd be up for debate. Because this, I think I'm leaning static right now. Kind of like my Travel-All. People say, why don't you put air ride on your Travel-All? I don't want air ride on it. I think the Travel-All sits perfect. I love that I get in it and go. Now, air ride is reliable. I'm not saying it ain't. But both of my air ride vehicles, there's constantly tiny leaks. So like if you're in a hurry to go, you got to sit there and let it run for a couple minutes, finish building up some air pressure and stuff. Now, I know I could fix the air leaks and that wouldn't be a problem. But that goes to it. You're adding mechanical components, so you're adding potential breakdowns and more maintenance. No ways around that. Y'all fight down in the comments. I don't know. I'll be honest, we're going to end up going with whatever my heart decides either way. I guess I am kind of influenced. You can influence me a hair, I think, because like Slick come over and was actually the one who gassed me up about air ride on it, which is so weird. And that's why I think it worked, is because he's usually like an anti-air ride type person. Like, let's just sit him low and leave it. But he was like, he seen it slam down and was like, dude, he's like, I think you should air ride it. And that's what kind of, I was like, phew, all right, you know, I am an air ride guy. I know I can make it happen. But, oh gosh, it just sits so perfect. It just sits so perfect. Guys, I hate to leave you there. I got more behind the scenes stuff I need to be doing. Trying to get the main channel figured out for this week. Like I said, we're volleyballed out. I know this is kind of beating a dead horse type thing here by revisiting this, but you know, sometimes that horse ain't dead. You figure out the way you're trying to work on that horse was incorrect. And maybe sometimes you breathe new life into that old dead horse, aka, like I said, installing that correctly is a game changer. It opens up some options. We've got options. Besides that, we got a little more merch stuff I need to kind of be taken care of and blah, blah, blah. It's boring. But again, it's necessary part of running this business. So thank you guys so much for being here on the second channel. Having to kind of throw y'all this one together because we're behind on the second channel. Last Monday, y'all seen us get that thing started for the first time and start to build the exhaust in correctly. Be expecting more on that. She's extremely close to being a driver. PutInsFabShop.com for that good quality merchandise. We got the Old Roy shirts on there of all sorts. I think y'all sold us out on the long, cut down the long bed to the lowered version anyhow. We appreciate all that support, guys. That's a game changer for us. It makes it where, in fact, something else I need to do is call or get some more stuff coming from it. I got a phone call to make. So thank y'all for that support where we can build out a truck and give him a truck. And I'm on the Instagrammer, we're on the Patreon, we're on the Facebooker, blah, blah, blah. Thank y'all for being here on the second channel. We're historically known for building cars. And I will see y'all in the next one. However, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish your project. And do not forget, installing parts wrong will not help you finish your project. Hot damn, there's so much BSery. We had to start a whole channel for all the extras. Be sure to go check out Puddin's Fab Shop if you ain't seen that baby yet. Come on!